Alright, g'day guys. Welcome back to Retro Swim. I apologise profusely for the very long break that we've had. I've been dealing with some personal problems and I just haven't had access to my gear, haven't had access to a place to do recording and my cameras and blah. So here I am and I'm doing another video and it's thrifting. Hooray! I've been going to second-hand stores like charity stores and whatnot for years looking for games and never really had a lot of luck. So I was hesitant to try and do a series like LGR on thrifting. But last weekend, I went to the Lifeline Bookfest, which is a huge event at the South Bank Convention Centre in Brisbane. And there's like kilometers of tables, like literally I think like 4 kilometers of tables or something like that. It's ridiculous, and they are just covered wall to wall with books, CDs, DVDs and games, but mostly books. I'm just showing a little bit of footage here of that as I ramble. It's really something else. But what does a book fest have to do with vintage games, you may ask? Well, to begin with, I picked this up quite early in the day. The Windows 2000 Professional Resource Kit, which has a lot of useful information on the internals of Windows 2000, and it actually has the disk still in it, which has a bunch of useful utilities. There's a book here on PCI system architecture, which is the nitty-gritty on how PCI bus works. So using this you could design your own PCI card, which is kind of cool. And upgrading and repairing PCs, 8th edition. The 8th edition slots nicely into the gap in my collection. I have the 3rd edition, the 11th edition I think, and the 14th edition. And this sort of looks like it contains a bit of stuff on 486s and early Pentiums maybe, so yeah. Always good to have. But you don't want to see books, you want to see games. Well, on the day of the Bookfest I collected about 70 new games. Well, new, which I either didn't have before, or I had scratched copies of, or I had disc only, so I now have a boxed copy, or something along those lines. So, without further ado, let's jump in and have a look at the boxed stuff, and then I'll prattle on about the loose discs and some of the other interesting things that I found. So firstly, this slightly damaged copy of Tycoon Collection. I picked this up because I only have loose disc versions of these games, and I just sort of wanted something to put them in. And yeah, you know, I could probably fix this up. It wouldn't be too much of a problem. Ultima Online Third Dawn. It looks like it's a sort of sequel to Ultima Online, but from the screenshots it looks like it's still the same game. I'm really excited to have a go at this because I really liked Ultima Online, but I never really got into it, so this has sort of prompted me to have another look. And it's in a big box because big boxes are awesome. A boxed copy of Flight Sim 2004. Again, this is just a game that I had like a loose disc copy of, so now I've got a big box. Always good. Everything's in there, and hang on. Red Baron 2. Interesting. Anyway. Box is a little beat up, but yeah, again, nothing I can't fix, and that side's alright, so that can be the side that faces out. Saved the best for last. Mist. Oh yeah. Again, I've always just had a loose disc copy of this, but everything's in there, including a strategy guide that someone has obviously used a lot. So yeah, really excited to pick this one up. Look great on the shelf. Alright, so that's all the big box stuff. So I guess now we'll have a look at loose discs and some of the other neat stuff that I found. Test Drive 5, I picked this up because it's an Accolade game, and you don't see them very often, and I really like Accolade games. AVP 2 and the AVP 2 expansion pack. I'm pretty sure that my copy of this got thrown out at some point because I can't find it, and I found these two right next to each other on the table, so yeah, awesome. Giant Citizen Kabuto. I think I found this on GOG, it might have been, but yeah, nice to have a physical copy. Shadow Warrior, oh yeah. Who wants some wang? Don't answer that. Death Rally, another awesome Apogee game that I'm stoked to have. Really love Apogee, but I sort of was growing up while their shareware model was at its peak, so I always had the shareware copies of stuff. But now I have the full version of Death Rally. And of Terminal Velocity. Another fine Apogee game. I found a copy of Final Doom there as well, which is pretty sweet because I have this on Steam. I don't actually have a physical copy, so yeah. Pitfall: The Mayan Adventure. I have wanted this forever. I think I played this on the Windows 95 Game Sampler CD. And it only has the first level, and I've been after this for years and years and years, and I finally have it. Yeah. Pinball. Yay, pinball. 3D Ultra Pinball I had seen and heard of, but Tilt I don't think I have, actually. This is a new one for me, so yeah, cool. Outpost 2. Now this is a game that one of my friends used to own and always banged on about how cool it was, but we never really got to play it very often, so when I saw it I nabbed it, and who knows, maybe we'll give it a go at the next LAN. Freespace 2, because hell yeah, I don't have this. I have Freespace 1. I don't have Freespace 2, so now I have Freespace 2. Command & Conquer Renegade. Yeah, awesome. And Sin. This really grabbed my attention when I saw it because I have heard absolutely nothing about this game except that I know that it exists and I know that it's supposed to be quite good, with lots of interactivity that was kind of new and fresh at the time that it came out. So keen to have a go of this, and definitely I think that I'll make this a subject of a video. The X-Wing vs TIE Fighter Balance of Power expansion. Which is awesome because I've been looking for this for ages and finally have it. This is an interesting one. This is Treasure Mountain. This looks like it's an enhanced version of that DOS game of the same title, starring the same bloke. You have to beat the Master of Mischief. So yeah, I didn't even know that this existed, so keen to have a go of it. The next thing that I saw was this Street Fighter II CD. The rest of it's in Japanese, so wasn't really sure what it was. I thought maybe it's for some obscure console that I've never heard of or seen. So I opened it up and it looks like there's just music tracks on there. So curiouser and curiouser, I opened up the manual. It's in Japanese. But there's sheet music in here, and I haven't listened to it yet, but I think this might be sheet music for music from Street Fighter, which is cool. Really very cool. Yeah, I'll post more information about it when I've had a chance to have a look. So next thing, I guess, is PlayStation games. Driver and Driver 2. Which I didn't have. Need for Speed, High Stakes, and Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo I did have, but once again, my discs are not in the best condition, and this one did appear to be slightly better condition. The Italian Job, because freaking love that movie. Medieval. I've always wanted this game and never been able to find a copy at a good price. And it turns out that I consider $1 to be a good price. So lastly, I guess, is the absolute most coolest stuff that I've ever found while doing thrift shopping. PC Engine stuff. Awesome. So for the base PC Engine, I have this, which is called Kato-chan Ken-chan, and I know nothing about it. Absolutely nothing, except for there's a PC Engine hue card in here, which doesn't look like it's damaged at all, and this game, which is Eternal City something something. Again, the card's in there and it looks like it's in good nick, and that's all I know. The other two are for the CD-ROM, PC Engine CD-ROM. Ranma 1/2 and Valis, the Phantasm Soldier. PC Engine stuff. PC Engine stuff. Awesome. And so that's an overview of what I got this year at the Bookfest. Very few books, lots of games, lots of awesome. So I hope you've enjoyed that little tour of my spoils of Bookfest, and I look forward to making a lot more videos in the near future. So thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching, see you next time.